Reverend John E. Cameron first got involved in the civil rights movement during graduate school at the American Baptist Theological Seminary in Nashville.
That was back in 1954 when the Supreme Court issued an edict on that discrimination in public accommodation and in public school was unconstitutional. Since that time, I have pastored Second Baptist Church of Oxford, Mississippi.
And in Oxford, he had an unusual experience with a staff member at the University of Mississippi.
We got in his car and went on the campus of Ole Miss, and we played table tennis about 6 rounds. Some of the male white students came to the door, peeped and ran back.
He says the students terrorized the staff member until he resigned and thought Reverend Cameron was a northern agitator, which actually saved his life.
They didn't know that I was a local pastor and I lived right across the street from Ole Miss. That was a trying experience. Had they known who I was, where I lived, it would have turned out drastically different.
Later, Reverend Cameron moved to Meridian, where he pastored the New Hope Baptist Church and successfully integrated the most popular restaurant in the city. He and his wife of 51 years, Lenora, moved to Laurel, where he participated in getting people registered to vote, and then headed to his hometown of Hattiesburg.
I headed up the voter registration for Forest County. I was hired by the National Council of Churches.
Reverend Cameron was also a candidate for the House of Representatives, and one night after holding a large meeting, Klan members shot multiple times into his home.
32 holes were penetrating my frame home.
Luckily, he and his family were safe, but the sheriff never came, so he went to pay him a visit.
When he looked up and saw me, he thought I was dead. I said, "Sheriff, as you can see, they missed last night, but if they come back, I won't miss."
He continued to push forward, unafraid of jail, and even went with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to get bail money for others so they could keep up the fight. And he says he doesn't regret a moment of it.
As a minister of the gospel, I had no choice. My job was to look out for the betterment of our people and of all people.
Reverend Cameron says the fight is not over, but he's proud of how far we've come. In Jackson, Kayla Thompson, 12 News.
Of our people and of all people. And that's why I was convinced that this was a